What if I told you that in 2026, thousands of Canadian seniors will be receiving multiple government payments every single month, yet many of them won't even realize they're eligible for all of them? And here's the shocking part: some of these benefits are not new, but they're being quietly adjusted, increased, or combined in ways that could significantly boost your retirement income. Right now, the Canadian government has several federal and provincial support programs running at the same time: Old Age Security, Guaranteed Income Supplement, Canada Pension Plan Enhancements, Climate-Related Rebates, Housing Supplements, Tax Credits, and Special Disability or Low-Income Supports. But most seniors only apply for one or two of these, leaving thousands of dollars unclaimed every year. And in 2026, there are 8 major government payments that every senior should know about. Some are automatic, some require a simple application, and some are so overlooked that even eligible retirees are completely missing out. Number 5 on this list is the one that surprises almost everyone. It's one of the most underused benefits in Canada, and it could quietly add hundreds of dollars per month to your income without you realizing it. The truth is, inflation, rising healthcare costs, and housing pressures are forcing many retirees to rethink their financial strategy. And knowing exactly what support you qualify for could make a real difference in your monthly stability and peace of mind. So in this video, we're breaking down all 8 government payments Canadian seniors can receive in 2026, how they work, who qualifies, and how you can make sure you're not leaving money on the table. If you want to stay informed and make sure you're getting every dollar you're entitled to, don't forget to like this video right now. It really helps others find this important information too. Now, let's break this down clearly, because most people don't realize how powerful these programs become when they're combined, especially in 2026 when cost of living pressures are still affecting seniors across Canada in a very real way. The first thing you need to understand is that government support in Canada for seniors is not just one single pension. It's actually a layered system. Think of it like multiple safety nets stacked on top of each other. The problem is, most retirees only ever use one layer, usually their Canada Pension Plan or Old Age Security, and they assume that's everything they can get. But that assumption alone is why so many people are missing out on thousands of dollars every year. Let's start with the foundation most seniors already know about. Old Age Security is one of the core payments, and it's designed to provide a basic monthly income for Canadians aged 65 and older, regardless of work history. But what many don't realize is that OAS is just the starting point, not the full picture. On its own, it's rarely enough to cover modern living costs, especially with rent, groceries, utilities, and medical expenses continuing to rise. Then you have the Canada Pension Plan, which is based on how much you contributed during your working years. This one varies widely from person to person. Some receive a strong monthly amount, while others who worked part-time or had gaps in employment may receive much less. And that difference is exactly where additional government support starts to matter more than ever. Now here's where things begin to get interesting. Once you combine OAS and CPP, many seniors assume that's the end of the road. But in reality, that's only part of the system. There are income-tested benefits designed specifically to support those whose total monthly income still falls below a certain threshold. And this is where many people start missing opportunities without even knowing it. One of the most important additional supports is the Guaranteed Income Supplement. This program is specifically designed for low-income seniors who already receive OAS but still struggle financially. The key detail here is that eligibility is not static. It can change every year based on your income, marital status, and even changes in household circumstances. Many people who think they don't qualify never recheck, and as a result, they miss out on substantial monthly support that could have made a real difference in their lives. But we're still only scratching the surface. In 2026, there are also additional tax-based benefits that don't always show up as direct monthly payments, but they still put money back into seniors' pockets. These include tax credits for medical expenses, age-related credits, and even provincial supplements depending on where you live. The important thing to understand is that these benefits often come quietly, either as reduced taxes owed or as annual refunds, which means many seniors don't even connect them to government support at all. Now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked entirely, even though it can be incredibly valuable. Climate and cost of living rebates. These payments are designed to help offset rising energy costs and inflation-related expenses. In some cases, they are issued automatically based on tax filings, but in other cases, seniors need to be aware of filing requirements or regional eligibility rules. And this is where confusion often leads to missed money. But what really makes 2026 important is not just the existence of these programs, but the way they interact with each other. Your eligibility for one benefit can influence another. Your reported income can increase or decrease what you receive elsewhere. And even small changes in financial reporting, such as withdrawing from savings or adjusting pension timing, can affect the total support you qualify for. This is why financial awareness is becoming just as important as financial planning in retirement. Now, let's move deeper into the part of the system that most people never fully explore until it's too late. Provincial supplements. These vary depending on where you live in Canada, but they often include housing assistance, prescription drug coverage support, and income top-ups for seniors with limited resources. The challenge is that these programs are not always widely advertised. In fact, many are only discovered when someone applies for other benefits or speaks directly with a service advisor. And that brings us to something very important. Access does not always equal awareness. Just because a program exists does not mean it is actively reaching the people who need it most. That is why understanding your options is so powerful. Now, let's talk about the psychological side of this for a moment. Many seniors avoid applying for additional benefits because they assume the process will be complicated, or they believe they won't qualify anyway. Others feel uncomfortable receiving government assistance, even when they are fully eligible. But in reality, these programs exist precisely because retirement costs have increased faster than many fixed incomes can keep up with. And here is where things become even more critical in 2026. Inflation has not affected all expenses equally. Housing and healthcare costs have risen faster than general inflation in many regions. That means even seniors who were once financially stable are now finding themselves needing additional support. This is not about poor planning. It is about changing economic conditions. Now, let's come back to the part everyone has been waiting for, the hidden layer of benefits that often goes unnoticed. Some government payments are not labeled as pensions or income support at all. Instead, they appear as rebates, credits, or adjustments. For example, energy rebates might arrive quarterly. Tax credits might appear annually. Medical expense reimbursements might reduce your taxable income without ever being seen as a direct payment. When you add all of these together, the total value can be significant. And yet, because they are spread across different systems and timelines, most people never see the full picture of what they are actually receiving. This is exactly why one of the biggest financial mistakes seniors make is thinking in terms of single payments instead of total support systems. The reality is, your retirement income is not just one source. It is a combination of multiple overlapping programs that require awareness, timing, and sometimes simple administrative updates to fully access. And this leads us directly into why number 5 in this system stands out so much compared to the others. Without giving too much away too early, it is one of those benefits that often goes unclaimed simply because people assume they are not eligible. In many cases, eligibility is based on past tax years, household structure, or changes in income that people don't even think to report or reassess. And as a result, thousands of dollars can quietly remain unclaimed every year. The surprising part is that once seniors learn about it, the application process is often much simpler than expected. In some cases, it requires no ongoing action at all once approved. But the key barrier is awareness, not complexity. As we move further into 2026, governments are also improving digital access to these programs, which means more applications are being processed online and more eligibility checks are becoming automated. This is a positive change, but it also means that seniors who are not digitally connected or informed may fall even further behind in accessing what they are entitled to. That is why staying informed is no longer optional. It is essential. Because every missed benefit is not just a number on paper. It translates into real-life impact. It can mean the difference between struggling with monthly bills and having enough room to breathe financially. It can affect healthcare choices, housing stability, and even overall quality of life. And the truth is, most seniors are not missing out because they are careless. They are missing out because the system is complex, layered, and constantly changing. So as we continue through this breakdown, the goal is simple. To make sure nothing is overlooked. To connect the dots between programs that are often treated separately. And to give you a clearer understanding of what is actually available in 2026, not just in theory, but in practical, real-world terms. Because once you see how these payments work together, you start to realize something important. The system is not just about survival. It is about support. But only if you know how to access it. And that is exactly what we are going to uncover next as we go deeper into each of these benefits and reveal the one that most seniors completely underestimate, even though it could quietly change their monthly financial situation in a meaningful way. Now, let's move into the full breakdown of these 8 government payments so you can actually see how everything fits together in 2026 and why so many seniors are unintentionally leaving money behind every single year. Starting with the Guaranteed Income Supplement again, because this is where number 5 truly begins to make sense. The GIS is one of the most important income boosters for low-income seniors in Canada, and it works alongside old age security. What makes it so powerful is that it is not a fixed benefit for everyone. It adjusts based on your yearly income and marital situation. That means even small changes in your finances can shift your eligibility, sometimes opening the door to hundreds of extra dollars per month without you realizing it. And this is exactly why number 5 on our list becomes such a major surprise for so many people, because it is often connected directly to how GIS calculations are made behind the scenes. Now, moving forward, another major support that often gets overlooked is the Canada Pension Plan Retirement Benefit. While most people know CPP exists, what they don't always understand is how flexible it actually is in terms of when you take it. Taking CPP early reduces your monthly payment, while delaying it increases your long-term income. In 2026, this decision is becoming even more important because the cost of living continues to rise, and the timing of your claim can significantly impact your financial stability for the rest of your retirement. Then we come to old age security, which remains the backbone of retirement income for most Canadians. It is predictable, stable, and adjusted periodically to reflect inflation. But what many people miss is that OAS can also be affected by residency history. If someone has lived outside of Canada for part of their life, their payment might be partially reduced or prorated, which is something many retirees only discover late in the process. Now, here's where things start expanding beyond the basic pension system. The GST and HST credit is another important payment that often flies under the radar. This is a tax-free quarterly payment designed to help low and moderate income individuals offset the cost of sales taxes. Many seniors qualify automatically after filing their taxes, yet a surprising number still don't realize they are receiving it or don't connect it to a government benefit at all because it appears as a simple credit rather than a pension payment. And now we reach something that has become increasingly relevant in recent years, especially as energy costs continue to fluctuate. Climate-related rebates and cost of living credits. These payments vary by province and federal policy updates, but they are designed to help households manage rising utility and fuel expenses. In many cases, they are automatically calculated based on tax returns, but eligibility thresholds and payment amounts can shift from year to year. This is why staying updated is so important, because what you qualified for last year may not be identical in 2026. Now let's talk about number 5 directly, because this is the one that most people underestimate the most. It is not always a single payment with a clear name. Instead, it is often a combination of income-tested adjustments, special supplements, and retroactive benefit corrections that come from programs like GIS, provincial top-ups, or tax credit recalculations. In many cases, seniors discover they were underpaid in previous years and suddenly receive additional funds after reassessment. This is why so many people miss it entirely, because it doesn't always show up as a predictable monthly deposit. It can appear quietly, unexpectedly, and sometimes only after a tax review or application update. This leads us into disability-related supports, which are another key part of the system. The disability tax credit is not a direct monthly payment, but it significantly reduces the amount of tax owed and can open the door to other related benefits. For seniors living with chronic conditions or mobility challenges, this can create meaningful financial relief when combined with other programs. Now, we also have provincial seniors benefits, which vary depending on where you live in Canada. Some provinces offer additional monthly supplements for low-income retirees, while others provide housing assistance, prescription drug coverage support, or property tax reductions. These programs are often designed to fill the gaps left by federal benefits, but because they are managed at a regional level, awareness is often much lower than it should be. And finally, rounding out the list are housing support programs for seniors. With rental prices increasing in many urban areas, housing assistance has become one of the most important forms of financial support available. Some programs provide direct rent subsidies, while others reduce overall housing costs through social housing placements or income-based rent calculations. For seniors on fixed incomes, this can be the difference between financial stress and stability. When you look at all 8 of these together, something becomes very clear. The Canadian retirement support system is not a single payment structure. It is a network of interconnected programs that work together, but only if you understand how to access them properly. And that is where most people fall behind, not because they are ineligible, but because they are unaware of how many layers actually exist. In 2026, this awareness is more important than ever. The economic environment is changing, government thresholds are adjusting, and automation is increasing in how benefits are distributed. That means fewer people are being actively guided through the system, and more responsibility is falling on individuals to understand what they qualify for. So the real question is not whether these programs exist. They do. The real question is whether you are fully benefiting from them, or only accessing a small portion of what is actually available to you. Because when seniors take the time to understand all 8 of these payment systems together, the difference in monthly income can be more significant than they ever expected. And in many cases, it is not about earning more money. It is about claiming what has already been designed for them. If this breakdown helped you understand how these benefits work together, and you want to stay updated on more important changes that could affect your retirement income, make sure you stay informed and consider subscribing so you don't miss future updates like this.